Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be talking about This Week at Bungie for October 31st. Happy Halloween 2019. This Week at Bungie, basically going to be your news blog post about Destiny 2 in the past week, current weeks, and next few weeks of Destiny 2, and my versions of the TWAB feature cute Halloween animals. Yes, leave it vague so that future Dychronic will have to put up something Halloween-y. Man, how old am I? That was good though. I like things that are Halloween-y. Well, let's go ahead and talk about This Week at Bungie and all the news and whatnot. For the most part, there's about a medium amount of stuff in this TWAB. You know, there's talks about the dungeon very quickly, about some Fashion Week, about some Iron Banners, some improvements and changes to the Pinnacle gear stuff, some charity events and whatnot. So not a ton, but a medium amount for sure. So not David or Goliath, more like Daviath. Why did that pop into my head? Anyways, let's move on. First and foremost for This Week at Bungie is basically the dungeon. The Pit of Heresy dungeon released last Tuesday with all of the other things that all released at the exact same time, and I've actually completed it. Actually pretty fun, interesting dungeon. A lot of dark parts and spinning blades that kill me a lot. But it's definitely a lot of fun, and I would recommend you try it out if you haven't. There's lots of new things in this dungeon. You can get a new sniper, rocket, shotgun. I got the shotgun. But, you know, the precision frame shotgun, not my favorite. Moving on, we have a new Fashion Week, which is going to be Halloween themed very soon after the last one, where you can actually win this exclusive emblem. The only way you can actually get it is by winning Fashion Week, where you submit basically your best looking Guardians, and they will pick a whole bunch that will feature in the next TWAB. You just submit that on the community creations page of Bungie.net or add Bungie in their Fashion Week tweet. So they're going to have a Fashion Week tweet, which is probably out right now. You just reply to it with your design. Now, here's actually a helpful tip. Now, I've actually never won this kind of thing, but I have seen all of the winners, I've seen all of the previous events, and they usually pick the thing that best promotes their new thing in the game. So, it's a Halloween event. You should be using the Halloween armors, the Halloween masks, the Halloween emotes, in a background with the new stuff. If you do it in the dungeon or next to an altar or whatever is new, the best that you can promote their game with their new stuff, the better. And that is the kind of thing that they usually pick, which is not surprising or unreasonable, honestly. I'm not salty. I think I should have won the last one, but I'm not salty. Moving on, let's talk about the Pinnacle Hotfix. So in this section, it's a whole bunch of gobbledygook. Basically, they say that the progression for the Pinnacle side of things from 950 to 960 is a bit too slow. So they're going to be making some modifications. They're going to be changing the Pinnacle Power increase from +1 to a +2, so you can get your Pinnacle Power up faster and not just be this absolute drudge all the way to the top. And on top of that, which I'm very confused about, is that only 4 slots will be needed to increase the character's average power. I don't understand that. Perhaps they're doing a different type of rounding, where they're rounding up instead of down or something. I don't know what exactly they're doing, but it seems like you only need 4 slots that are higher than those lower slots, and your average power will go up. I don't know how they do the calculation. And this patch to make this go live will be coming out with hotfix 2.6.1.1, which tentatively comes out November 7th. Moving on from there, they're giving you more opportunities to get some of these seasonal pass weapons, the Pluperfect, which is so much more fun to call it the Pluperfect rather than the Pluperfect. Also on top of that, the machine gun, which I think is a like a 900 RPM machine gun. They're adding more opportunities to get it from things like Vex Offensive Activity as a random drop, on top of the random rolls and drops you can get from the Crucible Gambit and Strikes from the Season Pass reward bonuses. Moving on, let's go and talk about the next Iron Banner coming up next week on November 5th. That goes to November 12th, and something very important to note is that it is 9 AM. The reset, because of daylight savings, is changing to 9 AM, but that's because, and it always has been since Destiny 1, the reset timers and all this stuff are just immune to daylight savings. So all you really need to know is that it's now 9 AM resets for everything instead of 10 AM. On top of that, they're making some changes to Iron Banner, limiting the heavy initial spawns as well as the additional spawns, so they're a bit slower than they were before. On top of the fact that it should be known that, you know, on Thursday, November 7th, the hotfix that I just mentioned up here, where they talked about the Pinnacle gear, should apply to the Pinnacle gear that you get from Iron Banner. So they're hoping to get that done in time for that Pinnacle gear, which is good. But you should save your Iron Banner bounties and Pinnacle stuff until that hotfix is released. Moving on, let's talk about the Bungie Bounty. If you go around and you find the Bungie Bounty people, this week is King Goliathan on Mixer. They're playing Momentum Control on PC. If you find them and you defeat them in combat, you'll be able to get this exclusive emblem. That is the Year 3 version of the Bungie Bounty. Moving on, there's also been a recent charity endeavor to the Bungie Foundation iPads for Kids program and the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. There was a lot of donations going on. I saw a lot of feed on Twitter, people making insane donations. And I gotta say, shout out to you guys. You're doing absolute wonders for the community and just people in general. They also have a bunch of incentives if you want to get some cool stuff for Destiny 2, including $10 for a new emblem, $50 for new emblem, and the first ever charity ghost, which is this ghost right here, and then finally a $100 donation to win a random prize from the Bungie prize pool, which I don't know what that is. That's a bit new, but check out this ghost shell. It's got like spinning circles and stuff. That's pretty crazy. And of course, if you wanted to help out, there is a link right here on the TWAB if you wanted to donate. And then finally, talking about Dr. Bungie, which is going to be this blue section at the top of this, is going to be talking about the updates and known issues with Destiny 2 and all the stuff that's come up with the new festival and all that whatnot. Hey, guess what? Izanagi's burden is still broken. Apparently there was an issue with the last time they fixed it, and they got a whole new set of issues. There's a subset, and I quote, a subset of players who are not receiving, subset right there, word, subset, we're not receiving either the forged keys or having an issue with progress for the Obsidian Crystal. Both of these things are needed to be able to get Izanagi's burden, and hopefully they fix it in the next update. This section just gives you a very basic entry data about doing Festival of the Loft. You gotta be 770 or veteran to be able to play the new stuff. And then lastly is gonna be the known issues. First of all, there's apparently some intermittent experiences with delayed loot drops and pursuit progression. The idea here is don't go to orbit too quickly, and they're hoping to fix that soon. On top of that, in the Infinite Force, if you see a Cabal Scorpius turret daemon, if that falls off the map, which apparently they fall off the map, I don't know how, you're gonna fail that activity, so you just let the timer run out or go back to orbit. And finally, they've noticed a lot more errors, Anteater, Monkey, and Weasel. Hopefully they've fixed it at this time. And that's pretty much it. This last section here just says, hey, Daylight Savings, which I've already mentioned before, and then movies of the week. If you want to see some people do the Scourge of the Past Sparrow section with all broomsticks in the Harry Potter theme music, which is copyright, so I'm not playing it. That's also pretty cool. Playing the entire game with a perfect score backwards on a Sparrow and some other montage videos. But that's pretty much it. That's the end of this week at Bungie. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to mention before I get off is that I actually have a giveaway going on right now. Astro 840 headset, Blue Yeti microphone, and $20 gift codes to Control Freak's websites. And if you want to win these things, you got to enter the giveaway, which is in the link in the description down below. Basically, you follow the Twitter, you retweet something. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And it's all free stuff, which is sponsored by those companies who are providing it for this. So my sponsors are going to be your game. So check them out. But that's pretty much it. That's the end of the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below if you had any questions about the Festival of the Lost. Of course, stay tuned. This weekend, I have a Festival of the Lost guide coming out. Very similar to my spreadsheets. I have a fully decked out docs with color coding, bolding, pictures, lots of really great stuff. So stay tuned to that either Saturday or Sunday and all that whatnot. And then lastly, happy birthday to my dad. October 31st, Halloween is my dad's birthday, so happy birthday to him. I got him a hella sick present, by the way. Shout out to Logitech for supplying some crazy ass keyboards, some wireless mouses, and a power play for him. Don't tell him I said this. He probably doesn't watch this part of the video, but don't tell him I said this. It's gonna be great. But that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.